The inaugural edition of the International Health Ministerial Summit is being held in Kigali, Rwanda from 4th to 5th December 2024. This summit brings together global leaders in healthcare to address critical health issues and advance medical systems. Themed Strengthening Health Systems for a Better Tomorrow, the two-day event will see delegates engage into the challenges facing the global healthcare system, aligning closely to key global focus areas. Agenda topics range from pharma and manufacturing to access to medicines, HIV and AIDS, health equity, and women's health. Also, Africa-specific initiatives enhancing healthcare delivery, digital health and innovation, and financing and investment opportunities will also take center stage. Welcome to this episode of Focus On as we engage Tom Coleman, the Portfolio Director Healthcare at Informa Markets. Thank you, Tom, for joining us. To just start us off, what is the vision behind the International Health Ministerial Summit, and why did you choose Rwanda as a launchpad for this significant event?
The International Ministerial Summit is the first of its kind. It really brings together policymakers, health leaders, and experts to address the critical health challenges and advance global health systems. The summit aims to discuss the latest in digital health initiatives, health innovations, and investment opportunities, whilst also trying to engage in impactful conversations around health equity, vaccine manufacturing, and women's health. It's the first of its kind on the continent, and it's an event that will bring together the private sector and public sector.
And looking at Africa specifically, what is it in for the African continent?
Yeah, I think the summit will really give an opportunity for healthcare leaders to attend, to hear some of the latest advances in healthcare across the continent, and really what is the future for Africa. We have 25 sponsors that are here that will be showcasing their latest developments, but we also have 18 ministers of health that will be traveling from all over the continent to provide case studies of some of the latest advances that are happening on the continent.
Mm-hmm. And it's a big event that is bringing together policy makers, stakeholders from different sectors. Therefore, the key issue here is partnerships and collaborations. What do you see? What do you envision as collaborations emerging from the summit to enhance healthcare delivery across the continent?
Yes, well, the summit will actually be focused on many different topics. The first day, on Wednesday, the 4th of December, we will be focusing on pharma manufacturing and access to medicines, research and development, HIV and AIDS, health equity and women's health. So it really will be bringing a lot of those policymakers together. And then on Thursday, the 5th of December, we're really delving into the Africa initiatives enhancing healthcare delivery. Digital health is going to be a really main focus. We've got some fantastic speakers, and it is really a hot topic at the moment. And then we'll be finishing with financing investment opportunities, which will have some fantastic panels of ministers of health and also some of those leading companies that I've mentioned.
The issue of financing and investment opportunities is one of the big conversations being held at the International Health Ministerial Summit. Therefore, what do you see as this summit positioning Africa to attract meaningful investment as far as the health sector is concerned?
Yeah, one of the biggest panel discussions, which will happen on the second day in the afternoon, will be really about investment in health. So it will be from insurance to universal health coverage, implementation, and also digital health. It's really going to be a huge panel, and it's going to be esteemed panelists with a wealth of experience in the investment and healthcare sectors, and they will be discussing how investing in Africa, and especially Africa's health systems, is an opportunity to accelerate the economic development and growth across the continent. There is going to be a big, focus on digital health and also the spend and investments into AI and digital health systems, which are really key to shaping the future of health systems across Africa.
As far as this summit is concerned, what are some conversations revolving around ensuring that healthcare, there's inclusive healthcare, particularly in the underserved areas within the continent?
Yeah, I think as you mentioned, really it's these partnerships which are key, and we'll be covering many topics, across the summit, but especially actually in the closing keynote on the 5th of December, which will be titled, what do really health leaders, funders, and governments need to do to order finance projects? How do we advance policies and ultimately strengthen health systems within Africa? This session will really cover and explore, how leaders in healthcare need to have closer partnerships with governments and regional, national, and subnational levels. This also goes vice versa, where funders need to work in collaboration with governments or driving healthcare projects and investing into technologies and scaling innovation. So it's really going to finish on a really important note, but this is a message right throughout the summit that partnerships is very key to really improving healthcare in the future of Africa.
And Tom, beyond this inaugural International Health Ministerial Summit, what are the long-term goals for this venture that has just begun and specific initiatives focused on Africa?
We're very excited with the response that we've had from the Ministerial Summit this year. We have 500 leaders from all across the country that have travelled here, and we really can't say enough, and a big thank you for everyone who's come to support us. We have 60 speakers, for the inaugural event, and as I mentioned, we have 25 sponsors. This is going to be a summit that is only going to grow in size every single year, and I think the key takeaway is that we want to learn from some of the case studies and the partnerships through the private and public sector, and really, continue this mission. And the Ministerial Summit will grow and, potentially move around the continent, but that's more news to come.
Mm-hmm. And looking at the last few years, for example, looking at the era of COVID and many more unprecedented challenges coming up in the healthcare sector, what is the space of these conversations in this summit? And is it something that came up while coming up with the Health Ministerial Summit for this year?
I think everyone's learned a lot from COVID-19, and I think, general preparedness, for another outbreak is always going to be a key topic. But I think, the summit really is focusing on these key partnerships with public and private sector, and how we can really strengthen, the healthcare systems for a better tomorrow. Digital health is a key topic, and we're really excited, for the audience to see some of these global speakers that have traveled from all around the world to be here for this summit. And
talk to us about the potential outcomes that you expect as organizers and key hosts for this event. What do you expect for both from the organizer side, and also what is it that you expect the people who will be attending to carry home as they leave?
I think one of the biggest things as an organizer for the International, Ministerial Summit is that we're going to see, lots of face-to-face meetings, lots of networking, listening to these global leaders give their, passionate views on how we're going to improve the healthcare system across Africa. And as an organizer, this is something that we really want to have takeaways at the end of each session that we can implement, and we can, really see the changes of, governments and also the private sector, how they are implementing these in the day-to-day of healthcare systems in Africa. And it's something that we can really take on to next year's summit, and we can learn from, the sessions this year, and hopefully we can see improvements over the next year. The Ministerial Summit will be from the 4th to the 5th of December. We are very excited to see all of the healthcare leaders here in Kigali, Rwanda, for the inaugural event, and we look forward to seeing you here.
Well, Tom, thank you very much for joining us here on CNBC Africa. And indeed, the Health Ministerial Summit promises to be a transformative event setting stage for collaborations and initiatives that will shape the future of healthcare worldwide, and most importantly, to come up with solutions to deal with unprecedented challenges in the health sector. Thank you for tuning in on this episode of Focus On. I've been your host, Flora Limuki.